Welcome to another episode of Redesigning Your Relationships Live. Before I introduce us, I'm doing something a little different. I am going to paint a picture. We're going to be better storytellers after our last two guests. So I'm going to paint a picture for Yvette, and then we're going to go into conversations. So here we go. Painting a picture. A 40-year-old woman. I have a high schooler and I have another daughter in college. I have been a stay-at-home mom, and I just woke up and realized that I don't have a purpose. And I know that I'm about to be an empty nester, and there's just so many things that I still want to do. My husband has an amazing job. He's been a great supporter, but now I'm just really wanting to do more for myself. So I meet these amazing coaches. I hear some great things. It's everything that I think that I want in my life, but two things have to happen. I need to take time for myself, which I'm not used to doing at all. I need to start thinking about what it is that exactly that I want, which I don't know at all, and I need some money. What do you do? That's what we're going to talk about today. So if you're joining us live, we're live every Wednesday. I am your host, Giovanna Burgess-White. This is my co-host.
Hello, I'm Yvette Valdenegro, part of the story, which I love the story. That is great. Great intro, great everything. And yes, and you know why? Because that's really just leads right into who we are and what we do.
Yes. So I thought we would story tell a little bit better. And there's different scenarios. I picked that one today. I think this is a scenario for any woman, any season in their life. They could have a career. They stay at home mom. Maybe they're working a part-time job, whatever it is. Maybe they're single mom. Maybe there's no kids, but there's something happening, which we absolutely love. I think women are more aware now than ever that they aren't living a life with purpose. I think after this whole pandemic, our lives have completely changed. Our careers have changed, the way we work, the way we our kids are, learning. All the things have changed, and I think that it's been great. But women haven't had a voice. They have never been taught to take care of themselves first, to put themselves first. It's always been the nurturing, the taking care of the household, taking care of your spouse, taking care of your children, taking care of your team, taking care of your business, whatever it is, always someone else first. And so I just thought today would be great to talk about when this happens and when we meet with our clients, and there's many, many coaches that probably go through this, life coaches, career coaches, leadership coaches that have this amazing breakthrough. We are talking to these amazing women, and it all comes down to not having a voice, not being able to speak up for themselves, and letting their partners know that this is not something they need, that they do need, but they absolutely want for themselves. And it is going to take time. It's going to take delegation of roles and responsibilities. It's going to be a season in their life, and it's also going to take money to invest in themselves. And I think that it's an important conversation to have, because this is what our clients are going through. And most women don't even take the step to voice themselves, to even get on a call, to even connect with someone. It's for some people, it's therapy. So we're gonna do a little role play, and we again are never scripted. We just come up with what we know is in our heart. And I know that it's really important for our clients, future clients, women who are looking for whoever it is, a guide, a coach, a mentor, a therapist, to help them find their purpose in life and start co-creating the life they're meant to have.
Okay, so since you just role played and you gave us a scenario, right? Here's your scenario back.
Okay.
We just established you're 40 years old. You're wanting to find purpose. How many kids were at home?
Right, one kid at home and one in college.
Okay, one at home. Okay, so let's just say I'm your partner. We've been together for all these years. You've done a great job. This, that, and the other. What you're wanting is, great. So I am going to be the stereotypical. When we're generalizing in all of this, by the way, we're not poking fun at genders or people's roles or whatever, but let's just be real, because Gio and I keep it real and raw. What I'm going to say back, I'm sure has happened and will happen, or is the fear of what someone thinks is going to happen if they even voice their opinion on what they want. So let's just be real, because this is, in general, this is probably what you're going to get back. So my storyline back to you is this. Hey, listen, I think you've done a great job with the kids. I appreciate everything that you've done. I hear you and I get it. But financially, you know that where is this coming from? How are we going to make this happen? And then as far as time goes, if I'm the main breadwinner right now, supporting us financially, then I'm exhausted. So the fact that I'm personally myself working 50 hours a week, and then you want me to come home and you want me to, you know, take care of our child or, you know, do whatever, like that's a lot. So now you're wanting me to do all these things while you're focusing in on yourself. And that just kind of seems like, I mean, where are you going with this? Like, I'm not really sure. I want to support you as a person because I care about you, but I'm really not sure that financially and time wise, this is really going to work for us.
And I get that, but you have to understand that I have to start doing stuff for myself because we have someone about to go to college too. We're about to be empty nesters, and I just can't wake up with this feeling of not having a purpose anymore when my whole life has revolved around other people. And I may not know exactly what it is. This is also new for me, but it's something that I think I need for myself in order to be a better version of me, to find what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. And I think that that's going to help us with our relationship as well and what we're looking for in the future, whatever that may hold. It may be traveling, it may be things, but I just have never had that time to really even think about what it is that I want to do. And wouldn't you want me to start living a life of purpose, like something that's for me and not just for everyone else?
It's so hard to answer these questions because I'm like, yes, of course. Okay, I'm going to keep playing devil's advocate. Time. You have time. You're at home all day long. What do you mean time? And then purpose. I mean, I felt like you wanting to be at home raising our children. That's your purpose, right? Why would you be doing it this whole, like, I'm not really understanding that.
Well, I get that, but again, it's a different time now, and the kids are, we already have one that's in college, it's never home, and we're gonna have this with the next. And I mean, I'm helping the school, I'm on the PTO, I help with, taking our son to practice and all the things. I just want to kind of have a division of roles and responsibilities. There's a lot of things in the house that that I do, so maybe that's if I have a schedule that I put together, because this is going to be at least 6 months to a year of me really just focusing on what it is that I need to do. So it's something that we have to work through together. This is new for me, but I would really love, your support, because this is what I'm going to do for myself in order to become a better version of me, for us and for me, for us, for the family, and against for our future, because we haven't even really talked about that. We haven't talked about what are we going to do when the kids are gone. What is our life going to look like? What is our time going to look like? All that's coming up so fast, and I don't want to wait until it's here. And then what? Then I'm going to be completely lost. The kids aren't going to be home.
I feel like at this point, you're going to have
totally serious scenario.
Say, you know what? I feel you, your heart. I get it. I don't know how the hell we're going to make this happen. Let me think about this, because this is like, you just threw something at me that's like, whoa, what? Then I feel like you're going to have a whole nother person that says, because they have their own thoughts. They have their own. So that it could be the first time you've even mentioned something like this. So it could be like, what are you talking about? What do you mean our future? Our future is us together. Like, the thought of even thinking through past tomorrow hasn't happened for all these years. So there is this side to when you bring something to someone's attention, it's like you have to go, well, they're not going to receive it the way you are, because now your mind is open to something that they haven't. A long time ago, I really tried to learn the art of just not even persuasion, but just making like a point. Like, and I feel like let's just be real here, I would say the percentages are going to be higher that if it's a woman, that it's male. Of course, there's going to be woman to women, right? But let's just say the greater majority is going to be woman talking to a man. Really thinking through, I feel like, the why a woman wants something without the emotion. Take out emotion or pointing a finger or going in the past or talking about all the things, but sticking to points and facts and reality. And not that you have to rush through it because, some people's attention span, but again, know your audience, know who you are talking to. You know exactly the person that is your partner that you're married to or you're in a committed relationship with. You know how they receive things, you know how it's been going. So, not that you are yielding to them per se, you're really yielding to your own knowledge and wisdom and guidance as far as like, what is the best approach that's going to be here? And then how do I concisely say exactly it is what I'm needing and wanting? And I have to be honest, even though we're just role playing, when someone says, I really need this from you for us, there's something that is there's a heart tug there. Yeah. Because when you care about someone, of course you're like, well, I want to help whatever you're needing. And then the other thing too is to understand this may be the first time you've ever said something to someone. So just because they go, I'm not really sure I'm on the same page with, that's not a no. That's not a negative. That's like you just hit, it's almost like coming to someone going, hey, I want to move. Like, wait, whoa, what do you mean you want to move? Where are we going? What's going on? I mean, you have to give that person time to process exactly what you've said, or maybe even go, hey, you know what? Think about it. We'll come back. And then in the meantime, come up with more examples, more reasons why, and just kind of soften the approach of what it is that you're truly wanting. Because you obviously think you understand, but sometimes when people don't receive it the right way, we just automatically think it's because it's a no, when it can be, it's just, they're not in your bubble.
Yeah.
So give them time to be in that bubble and to kind of experience and hear more of what you're thinking and feeling.
And this, again, is just educational because we have clients and, again, different seasons, different realms in their life. Most of the time, our clients wouldn't even say it the way I just said it. I really tried to, bring it down a few notches, but it's harder because this is what we do. But I remember a time when I was there 5 years ago and I needed a coach, a business coach, a business/life coach. I didn't really know, again, I didn't really know what I needed. I knew I needed something for my business because it wasn't, there was, I had left a career that I'd been in for 17 years and started a business, and it was just day and night. So I needed some form of coaching. I didn't even know what coaching was. So I remember having this conversation with my husband, and I was working at the time, but you start a business, you're not making a lot of money. And for me to even understand what I was about to get into was kind of a foreign language. There's not a fluid game plan because it's a blueprint, it's a program, it's a roadmap, and you're growing with it. But when I remember explaining it to him, and it was very emotional, and because I've never really even heard myself say that I needed something, and I also didn't want to come off as like, you don't know how to run a business, like you got to hire somebody, and I'll say, it was close to $8,000. That was scary. I'm having a conversation. Not only is it, I need help for my business, and really what I needed help was for me, not knowing that the business was just kind of what started it. And I also don't have $8,000 just sitting around, so it's two different. And then I don't even know what a coach is. Like, this was 5 years ago when coaching was still coaching's been around for a long time. But so I remember, and my husband's very supportive, but it was that, well, what is it? Like, what does it do? Like, that's a lot of money. Like, where are you going to get that? And so it was having the conversations, explaining those things, saying, I really don't know either. Like, this is what I was told. This is kind of like the roadmap. This is what we're going to work on. This is kind of like the end goal. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know when I'm going to see the results. So when we talk to our clients in different situations, they could be working, they could not be working, they could have the money, they couldn't have the money. Maybe they don't want to, take the money. Whatever it is, it's always a financial, and it's the time. The other thing was the time. I have to run a business. I have children. I'm a wife. I want to have a life, some sort of a life, which is why I got into business for myself. So there's so many different things, but it's having that clarity, writing it down. And one of the things that you and I talked about a couple of weeks ago, which is why this triggered this, is when I was speaking to a group about what we do, we're normally in groups with women, there was men. And it came up to after the meeting, that one of the gentlemen was like, or a couple people like, oh, where were you 20 years ago? Like, could have saved like my marriage, I'm remarried, like all the things. But one of the things was I always just assumed my wife had time for herself. And, they have kids in high school, he, full-time job. And it's like, but now I'm realizing everything she does is for everything else, for the house, for me, for the kids. Yeah, maybe she'll go to get her nails done, or she's like, but she's never asked about investing in herself or growing or what's the next thing after the kids leave. Like I never thought that way. So to me, this was a episode to educate, not to say every woman out there go find a coach and a guide and a mentor and go spend thousands of dollars. But to me, it's also there's a bigger awareness. Some of it can be, again, mental health. Some of it can be growth. Some of it can be purpose. There's a lot of pieces involved, especially for women. And I think that we need to have the conversations, even if they don't feel like they're going to be easy to have. I think we need to start planting the seed. And I also feel like this is a time for women to really start thinking about what it is that they want in their life, even if it doesn't feel natural, even if it feels selfish, because the one thing that we have that we get to do is we get to meet so many people, and the common denominator when we meet men and women is they're not happy with their life. They don't feel like they have a purpose, and their kids are, leaving, or they're retiring, and there's nothing for them there on the other side, because we haven't been taught to dream. We haven't been taught to grow. We haven't been taught to do what it is that we want to do. And I think that's the most important thing in this life, is that we co-create and that we design the life that we want. And so we're very, very blessed that we're able to have this podcast and we're able to talk about this. And that's really one of the main reasons, is because I feel like someone has to start this. So.
Yep. Okay. So I feel like putting myself in those shoes, and I'm like, what would have been such a weight on my shoulders? And I can 100% tell you fear. Fear would have gripped me. Fear would have been like two ways. One, automatically, I would have just automatically thought of the negative. Like, I'm going to share, how about this one? Because this is true. I'm going to share my heart. I'm going to share who I really am and what I want, but I already know it's not going to be received. So why am I even going to try to share? Right. So we already have that negative connotation of like, this is going to be empty words going on deaf ears, and it's not really going to go the way that I want. But we don't know that, because we never know how someone's going to receive something, and it's not our responsibility to dictate how someone's going to receive or their response. Our responsibility is to share what's really going on, because the opposite could be true. Instead of it being things we don't want to hear, it might open the door to possibilities that can happen. And I think what you just said, as far as like, where are we going from here kind of thing, it's really when two people are understanding what is really happening, it's really opening the door to, this is kind of like, hey, we just had this part of our life and now we're journeying into the next part. Why not make an investment for ourselves, for our future, in helping guide what that looks like? And it's interesting to me, I just thought of this, how people are willing to do like a timeshare, like if you just sit here for 2 hours, well, you can go to Hawaii on a timeshare. And then when you're there, sign up for just whatever, $30 a month, you get the timeshare for the rest of, like, it's so easy to do that kind of stuff because you have the vision of, oh, we're in Hawaii and the palm trees and the beach. And of course I want this. But the same thing is what we do, what we help our clients do, is like have that vision of where do you want to go? And then we're going to help you get those results. So again, it goes to the presentation side of what are you really wanting? How are you going to explain this? Understand your audience, and then really believe the best for it's going to be received. If for some reason it's not received, that isn't necessarily a bad thing either. Because again, you don't know what's going to happen down the road. And if it can be like, let's just say it is horrific. It is like, absolutely like not received, get out of my face, I don't want to talk about this, what you're wanting right now is not important, which that is reality for some people too. then now you as a person are responsible. What do you want to do with that? Is that okay for you? Is that
Yep.
okay to be in a relationship where it is like that? And that's a strong, not so great word to be saying right now, but that's reality for some people.
Yep.
Now that doesn't mean doom and gloom. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying like, then what are you going to do with that? Again, it's your choice. Receive it. And how are you going to handle it?
Yeah.
But you
Yeah.
can't ignore what's going on inside of you because it's going to stay there. If there's one thing I've learned in life, whatever it is that is like this little like parrot pecking at your brain all the time, that doesn't go away. It only goes away when you address it.
Yeah.
And you just take that little beak and go, we're going to get rid of you. Like you have to deal with it or it just keeps going and going. So do you want to be in 10, 15 years with the same thought?
Yeah.
And then feel like, oh my gosh.
We are preaching to the choir. Again, 5 years ago, I would have been like, what? I'm going to hire what? And now I'm like, okay, growth is huge. And we go to college. People go to college. People go to trade school, get certified. Like all of these things that you have to pay as an investment in yourself. This to me is like a college of life, the university of life. That is why there's people like, what are these coaches? There are so many coaches for different areas. We are relationship coaches. We help women in 3 different areas in their life because it's not there. It's not needed. The other thing I want people to get out of this is we talked about this when we weren't doing engagement coaching. Okay. It didn't exist before us. There's premarital counseling, there's counseling. Engagement coaching didn't exist. It's a huge part of what people should be doing because the divorce rate is over 50% right now. We changed the game. We wrote an ebook. We had an amazing podcast. We had amazing clients. Now we're rewriting the book for relationships. Women want to get divorced. They need help. They need a platform. They need to recover. We're there. If women are like, I need to show up to be like this in my marriage, we're going to help you redesign it. And if women can't function because their business is taking over and we're going to help them rebalance. But the most important thing is we're helping women discover who they are because most women have never been taught that. Most women in a relationship with a spouse, society hasn't taught that. And now we're kind of rewriting that book and it's real. What we're doing is real. And not only are we doing it at a one-on-one level, I mean, I'm going and coaching in a private life insurance practice on the things that we coach the women in their life because this is real. Time management, work, it should not take over your life. It's life-work balance. It's creating your mission statement, your boundaries. What is your legacy? This is the book of life, and you have to co-create it. You have to write it. You have to make the movie of it. And most people wait, or actually, most people never do it, or most people wait again until kids are out of the house and they're on that retirement. It's like, what if I would have done this 20, 30 years ago? What if I would have done this right out of college? You and I have had that conversation. There's so much gap on learning life. So we hope that this episode helped. We were very passionate about it. Even though we kind of changed some stuff up, we changed our intro, but we're on every Wednesday. We're here for you. We talk about all relationships in your life. We've had some amazing guest speakers on. So if you haven't listened to our last few episodes, please do. We have some more great things coming up. Actually, this fall is crazy for us. So we'll have a lot of updates on our conferences, on our experiences. And again, if this is the first time you're watching,
Yeah, reach out. I think this is going to speak to some people, or just be like, if it irritates you, tell us. If you love it, tell us. We're good. We're good with everything. We want to know exactly what you think and feel. So definitely reach out to us. Our DMs and social media, whatever, doesn't matter how you reach us. Just reach us and let us know what you think.
We would love that. And if you're listening to this or watching us and you're like, I need to schedule a call with you guys, we do them every week. They're virtual connects. We would love to see you, hear from you, how we can help you in your life. And so until next week.